Man, you come straight out of a comic.
Who would y'all want to see her represent? Like what characters would you like to see go through? Because one of my biggest ones, I think because this character is such a lovable character in the comics, but also I don't need a full movie about her. I would love to see her like a Gwenpool situation that has to go through that courthouse, because Gwenpool is influenced by Deadpool, but like she's really a knockoff, but she's still like kind of like same, like she's wild in this world, in the comic book world. I think that'd be a dope case for her to be within the She-Hulk series.
That's gonna take a lot. That's gonna take a lot.
Yeah, no, it's gonna take a lot. This is me being ambitious.
You gotta introduce Gwen. That's a lot. I actually still wouldn't mind a Deadpool thing. I would love to for Deadpool to Deadpool got arrested for trying to trespass on the Sony lot so he could meet Tom Holland.
That's funny.
Hey, I like that. I actually like that. Yeah.
That'd be like I love to see some funny shit like that for her to have to deal with.
I would love that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it would be hilarious if that's the way that they introduce him actually into the MCU. Like his case is dealing with him as a property, but then the end result is he wins his case and now he can be a part of the MCU like in fully. Like that would have been hilarious.
And even to make it to where you ain't got to worry about no fourth wall break, he want to be able to drop the F-bomb whenever he can.
Oh,
so her show, you keep hearing it bleep and stuff like you see that. Like what? Fuckity fuck, and it's just boop, boop, boop. Yeah, you can't really do that on this show. It's like that's what I'm fighting for. My next movie finna come out, and I want all the bumps.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, but that'd be another thing too. On like if you want to get on a more realistic note, that's also another way to introduce mutants more too.
Yes,
it can be another chapter into that. Like she is having to defend these kids or something like that, or somebody that's done something with their powers, didn't know that was happening and everything like that. And so she's asking, because again, that will come up in interviews too with them. It's like, okay, so how did you get your powers? I don't know. Like one day I just woke up and my eyes started turning red and they were just shooting beams out. Be like, so you didn't have like no accident, no nothing. Because again, we haven't seen that part be traced. So Jennifer could be one of the people that help piece that together and stuff. And then you start one person she can meet that's still not important in X-Men, but also gives that X-Men is what's her name, Moira McTaggart, because she was a doctor. Yeah, so she could get introduced to Moira McTaggart, and she's one of the head people of like mutant gene stuff like that for the next evolution. Because somebody got to be studying that stuff right now.
Well, yeah, that's because that was my theory from the beginning, is that like this is going to introduce that Mutant Registration Act, like with the inhibitor and everything. That I would have loved to see, like if that, even if that was the Easter egg for next season, like when they broke out, when Wong broke out Abomination for Damage Control to be like, look, Wong is going as he please, and them not necessarily being able to label Wong. I mean, we know he's Sorcerer Supreme, but I can see somebody mislabeling him like, see, mutants is out here running reckless. We need to do something about this. And that be like oh shit, Jen's gonna have to deal with this in court because now the government wants to govern all these superpowered beings.
That may be what the plot is for Captain America 4 or Thunderbolts. Because based off of how you're saying it, you need more events to body up to that. So you need more things for it to happen for us to know publicly, like these, like how Dion said, like there's no sightings of them yet, except for the like little article we saw about the man with claws attacking in the thing. And once we start seeing more of that, then it starts to sprinkle senator want to push this bill, seeing that in the back, like them wanting to push a bill to deal with these outbreaks of people with powers and these mutations that are happening among here. And then too, like the conspiracy theorists start even making it worse. Like, yo, is it because of the attack in New York? Oh, when Thanos came, like he left this thing around that activated all of us. Like, everything we've come up with, they can start throwing into there that shows like, okay, this is starting to become a problem.
I definitely go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
when I saw her mention X-Men, it's like, why are you doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why, as an excited fan, it's like, why are you doing this if y'all aren't going to give us X-Men right now? Because here's another thing. We could get an X-Men film, which of course we'd all line up to see, or
come on.
You could just give us a 10 or 15 episode series and then do the movie, because you could cover way more ground doing an hour series of X-Men on Disney than you would just doing a quick ass movie in the theater.
So what if they did a series of each character?
I'm down with that too. Walking Dead style. Go ahead.
I was about to say though, that goes back to your of the big wigs getting put into television. So based off of yours, who would that focus on?
But that's the thing. Okay, so by what Dion just said, you could do that easily and have the number one heads in X-Men, because we don't know who's cast as who, right? So if you do the X-Men series, you can show your A-list actors on the Disney Plus series, because you've shown us. I don't watch Star Wars. I watched the earlier films, but I stopped by the time they got to Rogue One. But if you did a series and let's say you had Carlos Esposito, what's his name, man?
Giancarlo.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah. So if you had him and you had Denzel Washington rumored to play Professor X and Magneto, if you showed them in the series, now I'm like, oh, now I'm getting a story that I really wanted. And then you could do the film after you've done the season of every X-Men that you want, as far as if it's a bigger story. Episode 1 has to show us what mutants are. Then you got to show us the genesis of it. And as far as we were introduced to mutants, Professor X and Magneto were the first two.
Well, also too, like how you just put it though, how you even shaping up the episodes, you already showing it to where how that can work well, because the first 2 episodes, like you said, 1 is us showing what mutants are, and then also 2, you don't necessarily have to give everything away, because you can even track back to Apocalypse without having to show him. You could just have the acolytes, the 4 horsemen, talking about him, saying his name Abansur and stuff, and praising him. Because again, you can cast them without them having to be big names. Because the 4 horsemen at the time, you can make anybody for that. And so that second one is us seeing it today, what the aftermath is. Yeah.
And that's the thing. You show that. I love that you're saying that. But when you said Abansur, that's so funny, because that's the name of the Green Lantern that gave Hal Jordan his ring. So it's so funny how Marvel and DC have shared origin stories and names for characters.
That's wild. But then, like how you said, 3 and 4 can introduce us to Charles and Xavier.
Yeah. Well, and Charles and
Magneto. Charles and Xavier.
Charles and Xavier. The first name and the last name. Right. What the great thing about X.
And then we'll go to DC. That's so bad. We're gonna see Clark and Kent, and hopefully he can give us.
Y'all see Bruce and Wayne, right?
Gotta see Bruce and Wayne.
Bruce and Wayne. The great thing about X-Men, though, in general, too, is that because everybody has their awakening moment, you can follow certain mutants in a story. You can follow Rogue's story before she gets, Cyclops. You can follow all these stories before the school of gifted individuals is created. And everything.
Well, actually, you just said it based off of how CT laid it out. If you do a 10 episode arc, that's how you introduce the original X-Men.
Yeah.
So you can show it to where, even to how at one point, how they did X-Men's not Days of Future, but First Class, when they fought in the Cuban Missile Crisis. That can also be another template that they can use as far as so at one point there were people around that helped us with this stuff. Because we learned that about X-Men.
This is the brilliant thing. So Days of Future Past, X-Men First Class, and X-Men, what was the second one?
You're right, Days of Future Past.
No, first one was First Class, second was Days of Future Past. I thought that was the third one.
Yeah. No.
Okay, and the third one was Apocalypse.
third one was Phoenix.
Okay, third one.
No, I'm sorry. No, you're right. Apocalypse, then Dark Phoenix. Yeah.
Okay, so they did 4 in total. First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and then Dark Phoenix. So here's the thing. This is how brilliant it could be. They could do 10 episodes, and each episode jumps back, forward, present day as far as timing. So if you do episode 1 showing us what mutants are, episode 2 you show us Professor Xavier, episode 3 you show us Bishop and Cable, episode 4 you show us Apocalypse, episode 5 you show us, like, that's what I'm saying, jump around the timeline to where now we understand this. And it doesn't have to be, what I'm proposing doesn't have to be you introducing the X-Men as far as all of them joining Professor X's academy, but you're showing us individual stories to where if you want to do a film, you can do a film of all of them joining together as X-Men.
And also you're giving them that reason for that to happen. So
right.
It's like we see what can happen in the future, and we also see why now there needs to be not only a group of these people to do that, but then also a safe haven for them. Because that's the one thing too that I think they could really help tie in, and this is showing how Charles turned that into a school.
Mm-hmm.
I got an idea. I'm trying to think of movies like this. What if it was 10 episodes? Each episode was a different character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of each episode, something major happened. So they all are tied into like a point of like they have an origin story, and then like a huge explosion happened. Like what happened? That'd be the end of the episode of each episode. Then the final episode is them coming together. It's like, who are you? It's like, hey, like sort of like.
So what you're saying is kind of like how they did in Heroes when the show Heroes was out, when everybody was that you showed everybody's story up into the eclipse.
Right.
That's what you. Why are you doing the triangle?
I was trying to.
You know,
something happened. Like
this is Dion's TED Talk. Like, okay, so this is what we got to get to, right?
What's the hand in the water? It's the hand in the water. They all see the hand. Like, yo, what is that? What I heard about the hand?
After they coming back to fight, we gotta make sure this hand don't be here. This hand, even Clayton like, yo, that hand's still here in my time. All right,
that hand is still here in my time.
That's still there. That's still there. They ain't do nothing but that. Yeah,
let me ask you this: would y'all be totally fine if they kept the same younger X-Men for MCU?
Absolutely not.
No?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Wait, certain ones I would be okay with. Certain ones I won't.
Get them all the fuck out of here.
Well, how about the older ones?
Wait, what are you saying? Will we be fine with the characters that they cast in the movies?
Would you be fine with the younger or the newer X-Men to be same character?
What I'm saying is, are you talking about the newest iteration of X-Men, them continuing to be X-Men?
Yeah. Would you be fine with that?
Here's the thing. I would be fine completely with young Professor X and young Magneto. I would also be fine with, even though I know it's humanly impossible for us to get Hugh Jackman to be Wolverine for another 10 years. It's humanly impossible. His body is gonna break down at some point. Shout out to him for even wanting to do it for the Daredevil movie.
Right.
I mean, Deadpool movie. But I'm fine with those two being their characters. And there was another X-Men. Oh, the girl who played in Game of Thrones, who was
Phoenix. Sophie something.
I think I would be okay with her continuing on as her character, but I need the Jason dude, the original Cyclops, to continue being Cyclops.
I need a new Cyclops. I need a 90s Cyclops. I need a 6'3".
That nigga was tall as hell.
I got laser beam eyes. I'll fuck you up.
He was tall.
I need that arrogant a-hole Cyclops.
Jason Marsden.
Yeah, I need that dude, the dude that know, like, yo, I gotta watch the whole X-Men on my shoulders. and I gotta watch this old creepy dude with claws trying to screw my wife. Like
I never knew that he was the. I remember as a kid, Cyclops was tall and more commanding, but when the movie came out and they showed Jason Marsden as Cyclops, he did carry the role greatly as far as being a leader and being I won't say confident, but he was like a teacher's pet. But Wolverine was written to be the leader of the X-Men in those films. So I never felt that Jason Marsden was a great leader per se.
Look here, man. Make John Cena Cyclops. Let's get this over.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Make John Cena Cyclops.
He's too old though.
He is a little too old, but we got CG though. We got CG. We can make Samuel L. Jackson look the way he looked in Captain Marvel. We can do anything.
Funny.
That's true.
I always have said, like, how do Cyclops miss? If I'm looking at you, I am hitting you. There's no I missed. I'm shooting your ankles, nigga. I'm shooting your head.
I may be using the wrong word, inertia and stuff like that. So it's kind of also too like when a gun goes off, the recoil of it is the same thing with his eyes. So that's why. Like,
and it also,
you ever notice when they knock it off, his stuff do like this, and he just he get bobbleheaded and just be like,
close your eyes, nigga, close your eyes.
And then also, he's not shooting at just regular niggas. He's shooting at other superpower beings. So like, it makes sense that some people may be able to dodge it.
How's he not shot his eyelids off? Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry.
And we also.
Like, it's all of this shit, and you gotta fucking close your eyes. How have you not shot your lip?
That goes to my question. I'm like, what force is these red beams? Because I've seen you tear up train stations, but you hit somebody and don't nobody get split in two.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like,
that's actually right. Yeah.
And he had normal glasses on a couple times. So if he did like an accident, he could shoot somebody.
Ray-Bans. He had Ray-Bans on.
Here's the question.
Not the granny look. The granny look.
Not only did you not shoot your eyelids off, but how the fuck did you not blow your brains out if glasses are the only thing keeping you from shooting? Big Mac, nigga, you should be dead.
Yeah, ricochet, poof! Oh!
Hold on, let me I can open that door. Wait a minute.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Oh, Grandma, no, I'm sorry.
Grandma.
Yo, but that shit just bouncing ricochet and stuff. Yeah, that's some of the shit you gotta look at. But I would love to see a new Cyclops.
Okay.
Ever since watching Game of Thrones, like how you say, I don't mind her being Jean, but I need her to turn it up.
Definitely.
That's what I said. I need her to turn it up. That's what.
I didn't like that softness she was giving.
The writing wasn't. Here's the thing. This is what we got to take away. X-Men First Class was good. X-Men Days of Future Past was brilliant because it fixed everything. But aside from those two anomalies, the Sony and Fox films were not written properly. So when you have Marvel Studios, they're going to do everything. Well, they were doing everything perfectly because this is the house that they are built on. So there should never be a bad Marvel movie in a sense. That's why I give so many passes to DC, because even though DC was Warner Brothers was sold to Discovery. So these things are no longer under one roof. So Marvel should never have a bad movie because you can literally go straight from the source material to give us comic accurate films. I don't know what happened with Eternals. Go ahead.
Only Sony movie that was good was Morbius. So
I'll beat your ass with a lead pipe.
So we not putting Morbius as top 5 greatest Marvel movies?
Oh my God.
Wow. Y'all acting different, huh?
So we not ready for It's Morbius time. We not excited for the sequel.
Let me tell you how thirsty that they were for y'all to like Morbius. One person tweeted, "It's Morbin time," and the studio was like, "Oh, time for re-release." It's like, hey man, this ain't a thing.
But who thought that? Who approved that? That's the person I want to know. Who thought, like, you know what? You right.
Whoever owns the property. It's one person who's like, no, y'all just ain't giving it a good shot. Like, watch it under this way. Like this one person that is caping for this.
Thousands of dollars to redistribute this. It's like, hey, you know what? I don't think nobody knew it was out. That's
Right.
right. I think everybody was
They
busy.
making up excuses.
People was busy
They're
them 4 weeks this was out. That's what it was. What came out around that time? Something with Meryl Streep. That's what.
Something with Meryl Streep.
Also, movies are staying shorter. Movies in the theater shorter and shorter now. They'll be like, "Hey, yo, it comes to the movie on Monday. It's in theater next Monday." You be like, "It's in hell next Monday."
Yeah, Disney Plus.
Hey, I just went and saw Bullet Train. They was like, coming to digital and HBO. I just went watched this.
Right. That
was a good
I
movie,
wasted
too.
my money. I wasted my money last Friday. It's already on Netflix. God damn it.
Like, it's that damn comfortable for me to come here. Like, I could have stayed home and waited.
Yeah, and that's the wave, bro. It's like, give me a movie on streaming. That's one thing that the pandemic did for us was I don't have to leave my house for anything anymore. And that's what they wanted. But that's another topic for another time.
Yeah. But I know we're about to bring this thing to a close though. But any so again, final thoughts on basically, like, you know, we already know we'll jump into this next episode, but with everything is going from what you've seen with She-Hulk, what's about to come, even with some of the Marvel short films and stuff, we see phase 4 getting ready to round out with Wakanda Forever. Like, is it from, you know, the good things, the bad things, and the other things? I want to get y'all opinion on where are you sitting right now currently with phase 4? Are we getting better? Are we staying the same? Are we declining?
I'm terrified. This is my final thought. I'm terrified because it is, like we said before, the blip was the coup de grace. It was the end of the series of the movies. And then it was like, oh shit, how can we keep this going? And now they're scrambling. Now it's a phase 1 all over again. But they still trying to like bring in things that happened in the original first 3 phases. So it's like it's terrifying because it's like, hey man, you're losing your audience because we don't know where we're going. You're not really tying it in. It gave me grace. I gave them grace when She-Hulk start tying in things. They start to kind of like mention names and things that's happening. But I'm nervous. I need something to tie in, man. It's too many big major things that's happening that not enough heroes are being a part of.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, same feeling. Like I like it's we're in this weird space where like they're giving us individual properties and I'm like, oh, I like that, and I like it for that. Ooh, I like this, and I like it for that. It's kind of like you know, it's kind of like we're in a layover. Like, you know, when you're in a layover, you know, let me go ahead and let me go grab something to eat real quick. Let me go check out a magazine. Like, I feel like that's where we're at in the MCU. Is like I can't wait till we get back on the main flight so we can get to our destination. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah.
I wanted Deuces to go before me, so he ain't interrupt me. So here's the thing. I feel
Hey, but wait a minute.
This nigga Deuces is young, interrupt Deuces. Nigga. So here's how it goes. When you see what's happened, I'm gonna make it so simple for you to get. The first what did Endgame ended phase 3, right? Or phase 2?
Phase 3.
Okay. Okay, so Endgame is phase 3. The reason all those movies worked weren't because they were just incredible. It's because they had time to focus on one story, right? They did not. Now, what we've seen in these next few phases has been the extended universe. And when you do that, when you got too much extending, you got TV shows, you got cartoons, you got more movies. All of that is drawing your attention away from a focal point. The thing that they didn't have before was Disney Plus. They just had to crank out movies. They had given license for Netflix to do, you know, the projects, but they didn't have a part of that. They were just like, yeah, go do your thing. Oh, Daredevil turned out good. Oh, The Punisher was a masterpiece. All right, well, congratulations. We'll see what happens in the next couple of years. So once Disney Plus came into play, you would think things would be more centered, but they're not, because now with everything that's happened, they can't just focus on one story and a film. They're doing so many different things that it looks convoluted. And then there have been too many statements made over the past 3 years talking about, yeah, we're not building for anything. We're just getting you to know other characters. And then they're like, well, we are building for something, but that's further out. And it's like, it's too many cooks in the kitchen now beyond Feige. Now the directors of Marvel are able to say something in comparison to what they were before. Before it was one band, one sound, Kevin Feige. Now it's whoever has a popular movie that comes out. Now they get a chance to say what some of the plans are and what they do or don't want to do.
Yeah. I think you and Deuce did put that into great segment with that. It's like they're still trying to find that balance with this, because like how Deuces said, to the point of phase 4 is like appetizers. Like we at happy hour right now. Like this ain't main course shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we got a couple of good ones. That seafood tower being Captain America wasn't all that, but these toaster pastries over here that was Moon Knight. You should try.
Save your appetite.
Save your appetite. Yeah, because phase 5, we gonna start getting back into our meat and potatoes, and that's even 2 at the end of 4, starting with Wakanda Forever. And then even the same thing to CT's point, I think the issue was that there's so many things that y'all are trying to say, and it's like, y'all should just stop talking. Stop telling us what's coming out. Stop saying shit, because now you starting to sound like DC a little bit, and we don't like when they do that. Because it's like, because the formula is technically there, and y'all shouldn't have to keep trying to tell. It's like, we're not doing anything that's gonna tie in here. Yes, you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be making this stuff. Just tell us, like, hey, this is the Ant-Man saga. Okay, when just like how Deuces said with a layover, when we were waiting on Avengers and that next big one, hey, go see Ant-Man. We know Ant-Man ain't all that, but go see Ant-Man, and Ant-Man delivered every time, because as to CT's point, it was just a film. Mm-hmm. But now that it's like, okay, you took on the responsibility of, we're going to make series now, and not only are we making series, you have to watch these series in order to understand the next chapter in these movies. Mm-hmm. So you took on an even bigger responsibility, because the precedent you set it for the first one was, okay, so who's the next big ones we about to see? Mm-hmm. So this phase 4, who's the next one? Is it going to be Iron Man? Oh, we got WandaVision. Oh, okay. Maybe they're gonna show us the X-Men. Oh, damn, we got Captain America. So, okay. Well, maybe we're gonna get maybe we'll finally get another Spider-Man. Oh, damn it, this Marvel. Okay. What's going on here? And so, but like how they said was, we're giving you more for people who can't either be in a big movie, who can't be in a series, and then it's like you already started giving yourself that perfect formula, like you did with One Band, One Sound, with the TV series, and now these shorts. It's like whoever your like fan favorite is, like how they did with John as Mr. Fantastic, and gave us that. You can give us that in these smaller presentations like Werewolf by Night. You can give this to us within these series. It's like the overall thing for y'all is just shut the fuck up. Yeah. We go see the shit regardless. We coming.
Here's the thing. When you see, and this is the biggest problem. This goes back to something you said earlier about Doctor Strange, where you said he's not the guy. Doctor Strange 1, I was like, okay, I can see him being Tony Stark-ish, right? And the reason that everybody mentions Tony Stark is because you built your entire universe off of Robert Downey Jr. And what that means is, if you're going to do a film or you're going to do a TV show or you plan to have another character release, you need to have somebody with the charisma, talent, humor, look, and delivery of Robert Downey Jr. You need a star.
And what's so ironic about you saying that, CT, Benedict Cumberbatch actually plays Tony Stark more to the comics than Robert did.
Absolutely.
Because Iron Man is not a likable person. Like Iron Man is a drunk. Iron Man is an asshole. Like no, for real. Like that. That's the reason why Doctor Strange don't hit, because you're showing us what Tony Stark really is like, and we're now seeing how Robert Downey made him more likable. Like we didn't see him be that woman. Like when we saw him like womanizing a little bit, it wasn't as harsh because you still had Pepper there. It's like, okay, we see him, the dude that's got the daddy issues, that's still trying to make it. But it's like with Benedict, it's like you such a fucking asshole, and you get to go learn to be master of the mystic arts because your stupid ass was on the phone while you was driving a fast ass car through a hill, and now you can't do surgery and keep making all this money and fucking all these white women. So now this other white woman that's supposed to be Chinese that then gave you all these powers got you fighting a white dude. Bring Wong back. I don't want to talk to you.
Bring Wong back.
I want to watch Sopranos, Wong. I don't like you.
But here's
What's
the thing.
wrong with you?
He has shades of, oh man, I like this guy. And maybe that's because I, as a person and as a personality, can identify more with the character choices of Tony Stark and Doctor Strange. Like, I'm both of them. So it's like, I'm like, oh, I love these guys. But hearing what you said, I'm like, these are reasons people said they don't like me. So I completely understand. But in the same token, it's like, you need a true anchor that is a fan favorite to lock this in. And unfortunately for Feige, he lost Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. back to back.
Man.
And we all thought, well, we got Chris Hemsworth, we got Thor, and then Thor: Love and Thunder came out, and we said, "What the fuck is this?"
Yo, it's so funny how his progression is how his character is in the actual story. It's like, what the fuck is your character doing? Like, oh, you're gonna be the anchor.
That is true.
I don't know what I'm on
That
right
is
now,
true.
man. I got a kid now. Like, why?
Why do you have this kid?
Who decided this dude is the one that should be a parent?
No, that was such a dumb move. And we know you set him for the Young Avengers, but you don't have to set him up with that. You could have
Not
left
like
the
this.
girl with Valkyrie.
And
That
you
way
asshole.
you free up Thor. But it's like you're gonna make everybody in the MCU be a father. No.
Well, and that's the thing too. It was like that kind of shot She-Hulk in the foot a little bit too, because you see them kind of rectifying that, because she was like, yo, what's with everybody in these daddy issues? And then now everybody's dads. And it's like,
Everybody's dad, yeah.
this is going to be horrible because now, you know, ain't nobody going to say this. This is Star Wars.
Speaking of She-Hulk, one thing that she called out, but then it also backfired in her face, when she was like, all Marvel movies end this way. Did y'all realize that all Marvel shows have been kind of ending the same way, with them talking to like a godlike figure, explaining what just happened in the show? Like when you watch What If, you had that moment where the narrator was doing it. When you see Loki talking to he who shall not remain. Yeah, you see him explaining everything that just happened. Her talking to Kevin, explaining everything that just happened. It's like, yo, these shows is kind of doing the exact same thing. Like you had Agatha telling them everything that happened.
That goes back to something Feige said that CT always brings up. Feige has already said that he's putting all of his money on Jonathan Majors.
Oh boy.
And so it shows you.
I feel like the world is putting all their money on Jonathan Majors.
All right, listen. I just watched that Creed trailer, and I was like, yo, if he
should have played T'Challa.
Yeah, and yeah, I was like, yo, because this dude, if you play a tenth of just what I seen in this Creed trailer, because I was like, watching the Creed trailer, I was like, yo, he gonna fuck Michael B. Jordan up.
I ain't gonna hold you. That's what I said.
This buddy, you finna get like your daddy.
It don't make sense. They in two different weight classes, though. It don't even make sense. Why are they in two different weight classes?
The second one didn't either. He fought a 6'8" Russian.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I was like,
and if we can be honest, Adonis has not won a fight yet.
No.
So what legacy are we talking about here? He's lost the last movie. He lost the movie before that. It's like now he looks like he's about to lose this one. And it's like Jonathan Majors is so on fire right now, bro, that I promise you they're about to make him the next sex symbol for black women.
All right, man.
They tried to do that.
No.
You're forcing it. That was a good try, Dion.
I got a heart out.
He did say 3:30.
He did. They tried to do it with Yaya, the brother who played Candyman, and he's Black Manta, but it didn't really hit yet. Like no project. He hasn't gotten the right project for all black women to be like, oh, right. Mm-hmm. So with Jonathan Majors, this Creed thing might be that.
CT1, I'm going to agree with you, and we're going to see because I'm calling it now. Jonathan Majors probably will get Sexiest Man Alive on People Magazine just because he's been on the road. Secondly, though, as I mentioned, thanks to Ali Sadiq, you can always go back in time and see where someone fucked up. Same thing for y'all. When he fucked that polar bear in Black Mirror, that was it for you, buddy.
You talking about Yaya?
Yep, that was it for you, buddy. That was it for you. The streets not gonna love you after that.
Well, him and
Anthony Mackie,
they both had the same episode.
He'd been here though. Like it's kind of like how Meek Mills when he took on Drake. Had Meek Mills been here a little bit longer, you could have took on Drake, but you didn't have enough in your tank for you to go after him like that.
At the time, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like Mackie's done enough to where it's like, okay, like you've done films, like we've seen you do it. This one, it's like for him, you have certain choices you need to make in films right now, and what you choose to do. Like even him in Watchmen, I was like, yo, this is good. Even you in Candyman, but I'm like, as you just said, you're not doing nothing that targets one of your biggest audiences, which is Black women. They fit like, yo, you shouldn't even bring Tangerine to see Creed 3. You gonna leave pissed. I just watched the trailer and I was like, hey man, I don't know what steroids y'all out here.
That's what I had said it. I said, if your woman has never watched any Marvel movie, but now she's talking about, oh, I can't wait till Ant-Man come out, just know it has nothing to do with Ant-Man, bro. Like, it literally has not one thing to do with Ant-Man. She is going to see it because of Jonathan Majors, bro.
But it makes him terrifying though. Like even like again, we still haven't seen him as Kang. Yeah. And so it's like to see that small part we saw in Loki and the fear that he gave us, just being the person that's seen it all like even to just take it back to that, those hands have killed hundreds to thousands of Avengers, and look how he sat there and had a conversation with them. Mm-hmm. Imagine the one that's brash, don't care, and just want to fight, and then see it that small of it in that trailer of Creed 3. I'm like, yo, this dude gonna be a real problem.
I'm gonna have to watch this trailer now. Damn it.
Well, because I know that y'all, like I said, CT don't watch trailers, but like that little clip of him talking to Ant-Man, like it gives you exactly what you're saying, because like it's pure disrespect. He's like, you a what? An Avenger? Did I kill you before? Like it's like just pure disrespect to whoever like Avengers and Ant-Man is. So that clip that made me excited to see his King. Because I'm like, yo, he about to be just disrespectful throughout this whole phase.
And then if that's the case, that gives them a good blanket to kind of shadow all of these characters under to get them created. Because, you know, like they are leading to Secret Wars, which I think like how you even pointed out, CT, if they keep the formula of the major heads stay in movies. Yeah. The big one, the B list ones go into like series. Same thing with the presentation ones. You give us enough of a formula to where as Kang is setting up everything, we get to see how these others can play either a small part or a big part when Kang Dynasty comes and the Secret Wars come. But it still goes back to them of just shutting the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because even what they gave away for Ironheart, I'm not going to say it on here, it was just like, why of all shows is that character getting introduced on this one?
I'm so glad I don't know what you're talking about. But I will say,
me either.
When I see that they have started announcing things, it's like, because they announced things so early, and then now when we get news like we got at the end of last week, where you got to delay certain things, it's like, this should not happen. This hasn't been you guys in the past. What is now causing y'all to hold off, delay production, and push things back?
I think it goes back to what you said. I think they are doing way too much. I think like how you said, when it was all one band, one sound, I think going into these multiple Disney series, also focusing on the cartoons, trying to make these movies, consistently trying to merge these other titles and collect everything you've already made, while then also too letting us know you're trying to appease us as the audience by doing fan favorite stuff. It's like eventually all of this is going to hit a speed bump. And it's just like, it goes back to what you just said. It's like, you're trying, it's like, I don't know why y'all are still trying to grab an audience. Like, your audience is here. Like, it's not like you got to keep telling us, hey, we make Marvel stuff now. We make movies. We make show. We do all that. Bro, we here.
We here.
Just announce the title. Like, hey, we got a new Captain movie coming out. Bet. Because guess what? We're going to do stuff just like this. People going to talk about it. People going to try to figure out things that's going on. Just like, and Thor was great example of how that can go. You just don't need to make it such a, I don't want to call it a crappy movie, but such a, you know, kind of slumped movie. You can keep it to where I don't see no trailers till what, a month before it comes out? And then still, keep it as a teaser. Don't give me everything. Keep it as a teaser.
I was gonna say I'll take it up a notch. I think Marvel has done so much dopeness that they don't even need trailers at this point. Like, I get it. That's the old model. That's the way it goes. But you don't need a trailer. We was gonna go out and see Wakanda Forever, no matter what. If they just said we finally got a date, Wakanda Forever on this date, and just showed us the movie poster, it's still gonna sell out no matter what.
I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us with 2 episodes. I'm just keeping honest, you're gonna see this ending twice. So the previous episode talking about She-Hulk, and this episode with us is talking about Marvel, DC, and catching up with so many things and stuff like that. So as always, I'd like to thank Dion, CT, and of course Young Deuces for joining on these episodes for us. We hope that y'all enjoyed them. Let us know on She-Hulk, you know, what was your favorite episode and your greatest takeaway with She-Hulk? What did you like about the season? What didn't you like about the season? And the same thing for our other show that we just did. How do you feel about DC being able to cater villains to form the heroes as their new formula for their movies and live action stuff? But before we get out of here, I always like people to let them know where they can be followed and supported. So Young Deuces, it ain't nothing new, you up.
Right. All right, well, y'all can follow me at young_deuces. And again, make sure y'all go to Watch Mojo, man. Go to Watch Mojo's page. Check out some of the top 10 lists that I am now voicing. It's been a blast doing that. So I would definitely like to see some of y'all in those comments, you know, just, you know, repping and supporting, you know what I'm saying? Put the hashtag straight out of comment, put SOACB. Straight out. Yeah.
SOCB now. Yeah, SOCB.
SOCB now?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
SOCB. Yeah.
Put the hashtag SOCB. Let them know where you that we repping in there. So yeah.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. And as y'all know, always make sure you support my YouTube channels. Back on the Twitch. Back on Twitch, man. I'm live. Man. Yes, man. Come check me out on Twitch Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And then as well as Saturdays and Sundays, you can check out my CS network. That's the Can't Sleep network. Go to my Twitch and you can watch some of all of my favorite content I've been in. It's over 300 episodes, which means it's over hours of content that you can just go watch on Saturdays and Sundays on my Twitch channel, going all the way from Sunday starting at 6 a.m. Saturday 6 a.m. all the way till Sunday midnight. 48 hours of me.
Dope.
Yes, indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out another episode of Straight Outta Comic Books. And I have been your host, Will Pharaoh. This has been Young Deuce, and we will catch you next time.
Hey.